Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I've seen many articles in the past 6 months coming from the Ukrainian mass media, and they were talking about their secret services or security services arresting various individuals because they were, collaborators or spies, Russian collaborators, spies, and so on. And there was a large number of these kind of people, and I was thinking, how come only the Ukrainians are doing this and the Russians are not doing that, or at least they're not advertising it? Well, I got this article from an Ukrainian news outlet, and it is Ukrainska Pravda. And they tell us that actually the Russians are returning the favor. So this article comes from September 17th, 2022. And this is the title. Russian National Guard detains more than 50 Ukrainians allegedly due to their ties with security services of Ukraine. Now, we know that during wartime or certain difficult situation in societies, a lot of things are abused, including this kind of arrests, where anyone can arrest kind of whomever they want. I'm talking about the people in power, under any kind of reason. They can just say you are collaborating with whomever, they arrest you, and you wait over there until they decide you're gonna see a judge with, if I remember, after September 11, 2001, after the Patriot Act was agreed upon, and they said, no, it's only for this, I think they can do that. And look at the guys in Guantanamo Bay. Some of them have not seen a judge yet, as far as I heard or I didn't hear about. The National Guard of the Russian Federation, also known as the Rogvardia, all right, have detained over 50 people suspected of, I'm quoting, connections with Ukraine's military and secret services, and quote, in Kherson and Zaporozhye Oblast, this within a week. Now, how come only now? That's suspicious, isn't it? Kremlin-sponsored news outlet Interfax. And what are you, Ukrainska Pravda? Not Kremlin, but Kiev-sponsored news outlet. But anyway, we use it because what can we use? Who's telling the truth? I do. All right, citing a report by Russia's National Guard. And I'm quoting, the Russian National Guard have detained 52 people suspected of aiding nationalist organizations, the security services of Ukraine, and Ukraine's armed forces within a week. Additionally, Russia's National Guards report that they allegedly discovered 2 dead drops with weapons and ammunition, which contained an ATGM anti-tank guided missile, 8 infantry flamethrowers, 5 anti-tank rocket launchers with 5 warheads to them, and 2 anti-tank mines. Background. Previously, the Russian military detained 2 employees of the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant allegedly suspected of cooperation with the armed forces of Ukraine. Well, I'm not saying that's impossible. I think it's very possible, and I don't blame either side. I don't blame the collaborators. I don't blame the Russians doing their job. I mean, if the Russians would not do their job and be successful in whatever they do, those people would, kill their compatriots, which I'm not going to go into who's right and who's wrong. It's just that they have a job to do. Now, the collaborators, obviously they have I'm assuming, moral convictions, and good for them. I don't judge that either. But what's good for you, then it's good for these guys as well. So if the Ukrainians have collaborators and it's good, then the same thing is good for the Russians having collaborators, because they actually collaborate with their connationals. So the Ukrainians collaborate with Ukrainians, the Russians collaborate with Russians. Like, for instance, my children collaborate with me and your children collaborate with you. Now, if I attack you, it's normal that your children will collaborate with you. And in the same way, if I attack you and my children, are caught by you collaborating with me, obviously that's your right to punish them, and that's their right to be my collaborators. That's where the allegiances lay. I think this is one of the first times when I read something like this, that the Russians are able to arrest or catch collaborators. I watched some videos on both sides, Russian side before the war and Ukrainian side during the war, where they claim that Ukrainian security forces arrested this collaborator and this collaborator and so on. I don't know if that's staged or not. I'm 50-50. Why? Because of the war, because of the propaganda. Now, remember this counteroffensive that I think it's dead in the water, floating like this for some time already. It was also a demoralizing piece of information, counter-information, that was very much trumpeted, So the Russians get all scared. Oh my God, they're on to us. Let's go to mommy. Well, on the other hand, there were some waiting. Yeah, you come this way, we're gonna shoot you. Go back and fight. It's just propaganda. Yes, they did this and that, as Putin said. Yeah, I heard the counteroffensive that they did that and that. But we'll see how it ends. The same here. Let's see how it ends. It's like in a chess game or in a soccer game or whatever game. I mean, when the referee blows the whistle, the end of the confrontation, then you see who's who and what's the score, and so check what's gonna be. It's gonna be a draw, checkmate, or whatever it's gonna be. The same with this one. It's still a long way to find out who won and who lost. As of now, the Russians are still winning, or won so far, and the Ukrainians had scored one time. So I don't know, Russia is like, let's say, play soccer, Russia has 10 and Ukraine has 1. All right, so now they scored in the 53rd minute. So now the score is 10-1. Does it mean that the Ukrainian team is winning? No, they just scored now. They are the last ones to score. Even though I don't know if the Russians are just now in disarray, running towards Vladivostok, or they're all petrified. I don't think that's the case. I mean, if you look on the map, this place where these guys conducted the counteroffensive, it's somewhere up north, and that's it. Nowhere else, nothing. No, we wait for whoever's going to decide what's Russia's next move. We'll find out. Maybe the change of season will change many things on the front. So people arrest one another. I'm pretty sure there are abuses as well. So some people are just falling like victims. Or all these things could be lies. Like Ukrainians, I'm pretty sure they make up things, and the Russians also make up things. And how can you verify that? Not really, we can't. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Certain things we can, certain things we can't. We'll see how it ends. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.